Welcome to another episode of Pels and a Blender. It's your boy A Davis coming to y'all on this Wednesday morning, Thanksgiving week, holiday time. You know what I mean? A lot of people off work, spending time with their families. Appreciate everybody for tapping in. Whoa, appreciate you, bro. Tapping into the show on this early morning, man. I ain't gonna keep y'all too long. You know what I mean? Try and get in, get some of this information, and get y'all out, get y'all ready for the day. Another Pelicans game day today. They got the Grizzlies at home. Um, and going into today, I'm not really sure exactly what I don't want to say I'm not sure what I expect for them tonight going into the game. And the reason I say that is because like I don't think Ja's gonna play. The I don't know if Edie's gonna play. Like the Grizzlies got their own situation going on right now, but at the same time, the Pelicans are trying to come from being a god awful team to like just really a bad team and leaning into a good team. So like they have some things that we need to work on. So this is another one of those situations where we have like a really good matchup, a situation of a game that you should win, right? Like you at home, Z's playing. You finally got to practice. They had practice yesterday and release some of the clips and stuff from that. I'll probably go over some of the interviews for those. But with that being said, it's just kind of like coming into a game against Memphis, like same thing similarly with the Dallas game. And the granted, Dallas was on the road, but you should have won that game. Memphis at home, you absolutely should win the game tonight, especially if Ja don't play again, if Edie don't play, if you don't know if Triple J gonna play. So with that being said, you let that one slip away. Opening night of the season, you was up big, blew that one. That's fine. It is what it is. It's over. Y'all trying to get some things together. You know what I mean? Y'all been playing with pace. You got the new coach. He's implementing some of his offensive sets and stuff like that. You know, trying to fine tune this machine and kind of get it going the way he wants it to go, building the identity, and then we'll see from there. So with that being said, as far as the game tonight, it's hard to say I expect them to win because it's just tough like with this team, you know what I mean? But I do expect them to get the win tonight. Like these are the wins that if you do again, you're doing what you're supposed to do, you should get this win tonight. Now last time we watched them, they played the Bulls. One took 143 to get that win. A lot of offense, a lot of pacing. Um, Thoughts on that Borrego quote on Queen? Which one? Which one? The one talking about where he sometimes got to settle him down and stuff like that. Like which quote? I'm probably gonna go through the JB interview. I got it queued up, getting ready to go. So we'll probably discuss some of that too. But overall, like honestly, I think JB has been doing, you see like the differences in JB's coaching style and Willie Green's coaching style, right? So like in every game, and JB's kind of doing a lot of stuff on the fly, right? Borrego is doing a lot of stuff on the fly, trying to figure out what it is that's going to work. He still doesn't have, his players, and they didn't. Again, I'm not going to keep talking about how they didn't have a training camp and all of that, because while it matters, at the end of the day, this is what it is. So like you just kind of got to do what it is you got to do in this situation that you dealt with, right? But with that being the case, you see Borrego trying to play people that fit what it is he's trying to do. Then that's all really that you can ask for. And I do believe that he is rewarding people for good play and not just playing people that have feel like they've earned minutes, right? So with the biggest like one of the biggest people you see with that being the case, like Bryce McGowan's getting minutes, and like not just like garbage time minutes. Bryce McGowan's getting like real minutes during some of the stretches of the games. he was really addressing all the rookies, but it felt directed at Queen, saying holding them to a standard, and if they don't, they out. Um, I think he's doing that with the team, to be honest. And the rookie specifically, because I think if you listen to how the players talk about their rookies specifically this year, like all of them are confident, got personalities and stuff like that. So what I think JB's trying to do is trying to, again, man, you got to set the standard of, just because you had a good game last game, don't necessarily mean you could come in and either slouch, you could come in and not bring energy, or like, like that doesn't mean that you're guaranteed to be out on the floor. Like, then I don't necessarily think that that's a bad thing, right? And I don't think he's not like benching them, right? Like he's not sitting them down like DNPs, right? Nothing like that, or sitting them down extended minutes. He's more like, I look at it more like resetting them, right? Like resetting them, because I appreciate his coaching, though it feels like real thought is being used. Exactly. So like what'll end up happening is, like, probably throughout the course of the game, right? You getting into the flow of the game. And then like again, you gotta, like, the rookies don't have like some of the experiences like on this level, first off. And then like to be honest, like, not only they don't have the experience on this level, they haven't had experience with this particular coach and how he wants to use this particular roster. So like they're really changing like play style on the fly. So you kind of gotta manage and then both of the rookies have really high expectations, right? Like Fears came out, and think about this. Fears came out early and was saying, "Hey man, I want to be, the second greatest point guard ever. I want to win Rookie of the Year, stuff like that." And Queen got all of the draft expectations, and Queen's, in a sense, like not trying to prove that he's better than everybody, but better than all of the other rookie class and all of that. But he has certain expectations for himself as well. With that being the case, you can find yourselves, especially since both of them have had some success early on. You probably can see like the moments in the games where like they might be doing a little bit too much, or they might get away from the game plan to a degree. And then sometimes like when they take bad shots, like I remember, what game was that? That was maybe the Mavericks game. Maybe the Mavericks game, man. Fears came out the third quarter, and like the third quarter is like the tough quarter, right? And I think it was like the second possession. They didn't run no offense, came down, shot like a deep three. And I'm like, bruh, no. Like moments like those is when you need to, hey, come here. Like let calm down. And you see what he doesn't sit them long. He pulls them down, gets them together, give them some coaching, right? Give them some pointers, and then puts them back in the game. And to their credit, every time they get back into the game, they seem to like play at a higher level. So like they're mentally tough. They can handle coaching. They understand their rookies, and realistically, they're in a real fortunate situation, like unfortunate to the team, but in a fortunate situation where both lottery picks really get an opportunity to play a lot of minutes. Like they getting opportunities to start early. Like you're still like, all of these minutes are very meaningful minutes for them. Peavy's finally cracking a rotation, and it's looking like, and this is the credit to JB, that if you play well, right? If you play well, if you play with effort, if you play smart, you'll get opportunity, right? Like, and you see Peavy, like has been playing a lot better. He's not shooting the ball well, but he's doing a lot of the little things that you have to do to win games in the league, right? And then he's been rewarding Peavy with more minutes. So I just think, like, as far as the rookie specifically, like him essentially giving them coaching, pulling them out, pulling them out of the game at times, like all of that is what you need to do, one, to manage them, but at the same time, it ain't just about the rookies, right? You have to set the precedent to the entire team. Like, hey, I know we bad, and yeah, we probably talking about developing developing these guys. But if everybody's not doing their job, I sit your ass down. So that's how you establish, hey man, we're not gonna do dumb things. And we're trying to break, again, I talked about the habits, trying to break some of these bad habits that they have. And with the rookies, the good thing is the second you see them developing some of them, you immediately trying to nip it in the butt. Hey, look, that's not gonna fly. Let's cut that out. Get back to the good way that you were playing and some of the good things that you were doing. The Pels were more organized and played good team ball and defense. If Z could average 23, 6, and 4, and the bench average 8 to 10 apiece, it could turn around. They're gonna have opportunity to turn it around because the schedule's gonna lighten up to a degree. As they get healthier and JB's offense starts to kick in, right? They got a deal a practice, and then so what I liked, and to go back to the Chicago game, right? Throughout the entire game, like JB, I think is starting from like the bottom as far as like because again, man, they are so bad at just like the basic things. And no, Jose shouldn't start. Like, no, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Jose shouldn't start. Respectfully to Jose, no. But so like JB is starting like at like the base level with trying to fix this team, right? Like what I mean by the base level is, man, look, we got to play faster, right? That's just like basic things. Like, okay, look, we got to get up and down in transition, and he's trying to fine tune the transition offense, like the pace and what we're doing in the pace and like on the fly, right? And then the transition defense, like the defense is super, like, bro, the mistakes that we make are just like the basic things, like stopping the ball, getting back. So what I like that JB did, if you listen to Antonio Daniels talk before the game, the Chicago game, was saying that that JB, one, he's been like, instead of like just letting them do shoot arounds, it's kind of like, look, he's turning shoot arounds into like mini practices, which is awesome when you don't have that much time. Aside from that, it was like the practice that they did get, he essentially used the entire practice on transition defense. And that's what you got to do, man, with this team, to kind of get them up to speed. Because, and he said it in his interview, his post-game interview, I think it was, that like, bro, like it's so much that like we can't, and I said this in one of the previous episodes, but it's like, you can't just tell them what it is to do. Like, you have to be able to show and like teach them exactly how you want something done. So when they're in the games, they can actually have live reps of, okay, this is where I'm supposed to go. This is how I stop the ball. And I know it sounds basic, but if they messing it up, then you kind of gotta tear it down. And then go from there. So with that being said, like I appreciate, and then like throughout the game, he didn't just the Chicago game, talking about the transition defense, he didn't just say, okay, we worked on it, y'all should know it. Throughout the entire game, you hear him shouting, everybody get back, like throughout the entire game, like, no, get, like, you know what I mean? And that's how you have to coach. You got to coach this team. That's how you got to coach this team, bro. You have to coach them as if, like, not as if they don't hear you. Whoa, what's up, bro? Appreciate y'all for tapping in. Whoa, absolutely. Whoa, was good. Yeah, hit that like button for sure. Whoa, what's good, bro? Appreciate y'all, man. Appreciate y'all with the early morning. You know what I mean? With the early morning love, bro. Jumping in for the episode. Let's go through some of these. It would be nice if you had Poole, man. Having Poole is gonna be big, but it's good to see that he'll be back in a couple games. I don't think he plays tonight, obviously. But you'll probably see him this weekend. And it's probably just like ramping up and stuff like that, getting ready to go. When Poole comes back, I think Poole starts, especially if Herb is still out. You don't know how much time Herb is gonna miss. But whether y'all talking about should Jose start, if you asking should Jose, like, think about this. If you're asking should Jose start, then there's no question that Poole should start, in my opinion. And if that's the case, that's also no question that Fears needs to go to the bench, right? Like, if it wasn't a question about Fears start, like if you're asking about Fears and Jose, then there should be no question about Poole. If there's no question about Poole and both of them are on the bench, then you already know how that rotation should go. Let's see. Actually, on my idea of Jose starting, he shouldn't play more minutes than Fears at this point. He's a better spot up shooter. Let Fears go to work with their second unit. So the only reason I kind of disagree to a degree is that, like, Jose at the same time, like, this, like, Fears brings something to the starting lineup that, like, Jose just can't do. And Jose can also bring like energy and like settle them down and stuff like that. Just because, you know, he's a vet, he's been around and stuff like that. But Jose lately hasn't been shooting the ball overly great. Like, over the stretch, hadn't been shooting the ball relatively great. He had a good game for sure against Chicago, and Jose makes plays and stuff like that. But I just can't imagine taking the threat of like how they want to start the game off with pace and transition and all of that, like Fears getting downhill, scoring at the rim, like all of that stuff is valuable in the sense of, and Fears hadn't been shooting the ball like terribly. The only problem with Fears to a degree is when I think they need to just make a point to him, like a point of emphasis when you're in the starting lineup. Not saying that you can't score it all, but bro, look to be a playmaker first. Like, if he play makes with the starting lineup first, then like it's gonna open up his, like, he's gonna get so many more like layups and stuff like that just by being able to create for other players and stuff. And like his shot, he's gonna get more opportunities playing that way, playing off of Z, off of Queen, as opposed to like when he's overly aggressive in the starting lineup. So like Jose, I don't think Jose should run the second unit, but like if you're out, if those two are your guards right now, I think the way that they did it before is not bad. Like, you start Fears, like let Fears play. Jose comes with the second unit because you're gonna play a lot of minutes, like when the game needs to be settled down, right? And then like Jose, like more than likely you either gonna get a lead or you're gonna be down, right, with the starters or something like that. Then you bring Jose in, and Jose can kind of help manage the game depending on what's going on. And depending on how they go, I don't have no problem with them deciding, like, if Jose was playing a little better than Fears to start the second half, then you start Jose. In this case, like, it'll probably be Poole when Poole is back, but I don't have no problem with that. He's not able to do what he does best with the ball in Z and Queen's hands. Yeah, but also, like, you got to think that's just gonna be like his future for a while. That's gonna be his future for a while. So at the same time, like, you got to learn to play off of those players. Like, and it's really, to me, it's just a mindset switch. Like, he can still use his abilities. He just needs to mentally think to play make first. Like, he's a relatively good passer. He just not thinking of passing right now. So that would be my plan for Fears. Like, what I would try to emphasize him with the start lineup. Like, bro, pass the ball first. Like, right? Not necessarily look to overpass, but like look to create for your players, and then they reward, like, both, like the team, the offense is extremely unselfish, right? And then if you get Trey going, like, imagine if Fears made a conscious decision to get Trey and Z and Queen going, then like they won't be able, like, he won't have to hunt shots necessarily. Like, it's gonna open up like even easier for him to score, because like the focus on Zion is gonna be like, the gravity that he has is just is massive. Pause. Like, that's crazy, but like Zion's gravity is like a real thing on the court. If you're playing off of that, you'll get like easier buckets. Like, the game will just become a lot easier for you. Listening at the desk while checking emails before the day gets rolling. Appreciate y'all, man. Appreciate y'all. Just trying to, get these morning shows in, bro. Like, and I don't have no set schedule, so you know me, I'll pop up at any time. We smoking that Grizzlies pack tonight. I hope so. I'm gonna be in the building tonight too, for sure. For sure, I'm going to catch us before Thanksgiving. Do you think the team will be better with Murray return? Yes. Yeah, I think the team will be better with Murray return because Murray, now again, you don't know what Murray is going to be at from like a health perspective, but even if you bring Murray off the bench for a while, like you got to think Murray is a relatively bigger point guard, been in the league for a while. I mean, you got to think Murray has had seasons where he's damn near been like a 2010 guy, right? And he's a really good rebounder for a guard, plays with pace, understands the game. He's a smart player. And then you got to think we're so bad, right? Like they're so bad that like having Murray can't hurt you. Realistically, it can hurt because whose minutes is he taking? Like, so if you started him, which I don't think he starts right away, right? But even if you started him, okay, that's another score in the offensive, like another respected scorer at least in the league in the offense. He plays the passing lane well. He can run the offense. He can settle you down. That's another legit ball handler. So like all of those things, like you saw at the end of the Bulls game, just not having not having a point guard, but like they had to bring Fears back into the game to be able to like close it out just to get the ball across half court. So if you have like Fears and Murray and Poole, right, that's a lot of guard play, and it just adds depth to your team. That's a lot of playmaking. That's more scoring. You know what I mean? So I think it solidifies your bench. You know, so having Murray absolutely would make the team better. How much better? I don't know. It just depends on how he looks coming off the injury. Zion smoking Ja. We gonna see, dog. I don't know if Ja playing tonight. You know, Ja got a lot going on. Ja over there seemed like he trying to get himself out of Memphis, but we'll see what happens with them. Fears is young. He doesn't understand his time will come when they need him for the scoring. He can still be effective getting assists. You should let the game come that exactly. And like as a young player, like it takes time. If that's not who you are, it takes time to transition into that. So, but I think that's why I said I think they need to make it a point of emphasis for Fears to be like, look, man, when you in that starting lineup, and that's why I don't think he should start, to be honest, because it's too much like having to like, bro, I know this is like obvious, but like playing in the NBA is clearly not easy, and especially for that position and somebody that young, right? So I don't like, and he again, they give him information and he processes it and like uses it, and like you can see the growth from one game to the next with Fizz. That's still been the thing. Like he's very coachable and he implements what's being coached. So I can imagine that if they told him, hey, look, when you with this unit, we need you to do this, and when you with this unit, you need to do that. I think he'll be able to pick that up and do it. The thing is that if you put him in the start lineup and you make his job easy, he can one track mind, be really locked in, and get really good at what it is you're telling them to do. And then I think that'll make that, like, making things simple for him will also make it easier. Right now, he's in a situation by necessity. You didn't think Poole would be hurt or that Willie would bench him, or whatever the situation is. But either way, I think that's why having Fears on the bench will like honestly help him out a lot more. Like he'll be able to be more of himself and also help the team. Home for Thanksgiving weekend, we in the blender. I'm in that, dog. Are we in the game tonight for sure? What other player would you have on the court with Murray? I'd have Murray on the court with the starters. So for me, it'll be Murray, Poole, Trey, Z, and Queen right now. Yeah, I like that lineup. That's a lot of playmaking. That's a lot of scoring. You could run a lot of your off-ball stuff with Poole. You could run your offense through Z. You still got a lot of cutting and stuff you could do with Queen. You could play inside. You could still play fast. You can't really lock down on Trey. Murray has been known to be able to get his offense going and hit some tough shots. That's a lot of scoring in that particular lineup. That's probably one of your best scoring lineups. Now defensively, you'll be kind of small. But the way that they trying to play anyway, like I don't know if that necessarily matters because they're trying to outrun people, and then they're trying to pressure you, and cause a lot of turnovers. I think that particular team would have a lot of defensive speed to be able to like shoot passing lanes, you know what I mean, gang rebound, stuff like that, and then be able to get out in transition. But again, they also, like I said, making it. Would I trade Herb and Hawkins for Ja? No. What? Yes. Yes. I don't even know if we need Ja like that, but absolutely. Absolutely, I would trade Herb. Like, even if I don't need Ja, if somebody was like, hey, bro, like if you could give me Herb and Hawkins and you could have Ja Morant, like, even if I don't want Ja, I'm doing that deal respectfully, like to Herb. But no, didn't you see what Ja Morant looked like? You can't. No. Yes, we make that deal every day. So like one of the things that I thought about from the game though, like to kind of tie some of this back in and go back to like what we're seeing on the court and like the product on the court, right? I think JB, another like credit to Borrego in this sense, that like you're watching the offense continue to grow, and then when they start to like they'll have rhythms, right? Because like basketball is a game of runs, like ups and downs, ebbs and flows, stuff like that. But like this particular team can like when they start to get in like a down slump, it lasts way too long sometimes. So like JB blowing through these timeouts, I don't care, dog. Like I don't care. Like I don't care if you got no timeouts. Like fuck them timeouts. Like get get this game under control so you don't see like your 14-point lead become a 4-point lead or become a 8-point lead for the other team because we holding on to timeouts. We don't care nothing about no timeouts. Same way I don't care about them getting off that pick to get queen. Like, bruh, do whatever you gotta do in the moment, right? To be good, like to give yourself a chance at the end of the game. Now, the thing I do like is while we going through some of the timeouts, he's not blowing like the early game challenges and stuff like that. I like that. Like he's also like the lineup. If somebody like Eves was playing really well the last couple games, a lot of energy, being very active. And you could tell Eves is either getting healthy or like getting Willie Green out of the building is kind of like reignited Eves to a degree. And he's rewarding Eves for playing as hard. Eves has been massive on the boards, bro. Like the offensive rebounds and stuff like that, to put like just the second opportunities he's getting. And so when he comes back with him in the starting lineup in the second half, it's kind of like I understand because you've been struggling in that third quarter so bad, bro. We gotta try whatever we could try. And if we watching the game and you see Jose got a little rhythm this game, got it going. That don't mean that the move is to start Jose every second half, right? But that particular game and what we got going on, and Antonio, if you listen, Antonio Daniels throughout the whole game, hey man, this is a Jose game. When you got people rolling like that, you ride it out as long as you can. Like, and then when the time comes, you go back to your starters and the people you trust. You got to ride the hot hand in a lot of these situations, especially when you're playing underhand, like you're playing underhanded because like you don't have Poole, you don't have Murray, like Carlo is still out. And I'm interested to see what the lineups look like when like those players come back. But when they come back, you have a lot of opportunities and you're showing the players that like, look, if you play well, I'll reward you for that. And that goes a long way, man. So again, they had the practice. They had the practice, I think it was yesterday. And you finally got to see, Zion speak. It's been a while since Zion spoke. And I ain't gonna lie, man, like it had been making me really mad recently that like, and again, I know when some players are like out with injuries, you don't really get to hear from them and stuff like that. So I get it. But like Trey had been the one doing some interviews, right? Doing some interviews. But it mainly had been like Queen, because Queen had been, kind of breaking onto the scene. Like the national media been talking about Derek Queen a lot more. So like you've been getting these Queen post game interviews, but like you haven't really been hearing from Trey like that. You had like, especially throughout the losing, man. Like again, we were on a what? A nine game losing streak. So you finally stopped that. But now you get a win, you get some interviews. So I'm hoping that we can hear more from them other than just the coach. And so kind of what I want to do, because this stuff matters to me. You gotta kind of hold people accountable for what they're saying, because the words matter, right? So we're gonna go through a couple of these interviews, only the two of them. We're gonna go through JB interview real quick, and then we'll do Zion, because Zion finally spoke, and then like we'll see, kind of break down what some of this mean, or at least what I think it means, or at least how I interpret it.
And some of these other guys, and see just what the offense is supposed to look like once he's out there.
I think we're a pretty good rhythm. I mean, we're still trying to figure each other out, how to space off each other, how to utilize them both as hubs in this offense. It's looking cleaner and cleaner to me. The more they're out there together, the more they can practice together. They're communicating as well during the game, so it's just great to have him back out there, just to have his force, his presence, gravity out there. He just opens up the floor for everybody else. So just trying to maximize those two together, and then separately too. They're not going to always just play together. We're trying to maximize them as individuals and as a combo.
I think that's important, because like essentially they're asking him about Zion and Queen playing together, and essentially he's like, man, look, I'm trying to figure out how to play both of these dynamic players together, which is good, because again, we just recently had the most recent coach was just like, we trying to find minutes for Queen on the court, and this is a guy that you could essentially run the offense through. So yes, you're trying to figure out ways for them to play, and he just said it, like finding ways for them to play not just together on the court, but how do I maximize the unique skill sets of both of these guys, to where every time somebody's on the court, one of them is on the court, we have something that we can run the offense through. So we not having these moments of like this ISO ball and this stagnant shit that they be having going on. Like, so I think when we see parts of the game where they get away from the offense, I think those are like the moments where you haven't seen, like that's where the not having as many practices come into play, because in the flow of the game, sometimes when teams adjust to what it is you're doing, you go back to your habits, right? So I think that's where like the practice time and all of that comes in. So like having them healthy, playing more together, I think you'll get a better understanding, and James will start doing stuff like he won't have the starters off the court for extended minutes at a time, or you won't have Zion off the court without, like, I don't think you'll just see like massive bench units. I think that's just kind of like a product of not really sure how to maximize just yet, but I think that's something that they're working on.
See, they do a good job of like finding errors and like correcting them right away. Like what's kind of your procedure for doing that? Like when the team's not doing something well, you like the third quarter adjustment you made last night. Like you just try different things, or what's the process?
I guess my nature is more just to deal with stuff and let it linger, So if the game requires action for me, I'm going to take some action. Sometimes it's risky. Sometimes you got to let a group go and see. This group, I'm not sure I'm going to wait around too long to see if they figure it out. I'm going to try something new.
Listen, that's important. This particular group, I'm not going to wait around and see if they figure it out. I'm probably going to try something and take action. Like, essentially what he's saying is, we've seen if I leave it up to them, what happens. It doesn't work. So I'm going to do everything I can Like, I have the power now to, if I need to change the lineup, I will. If I need to call a timeout, I will. Like, anything you could do to kind of like mitigate these things. Again, man, James Borrego was on a live interview right now. Like, not interview in the sense of like he's doing the interview. You got to think he's interviewing for the league as a head coach right now. Like, if he could turn this thing around and the Pelicans decide not to keep him, people will look at what he did with the rookies. They'll look at how he transitioned them, what the offense was and what it became. So like, I don't have no, like, while he's doing good by everybody, at the same time, like, not sitting on your hands and say, exactly, bro, we love a proactive coach, just need to fix them lineups. I think the lineups will get a look better as you get healthier, but I think right now you just trying whatever, because I think from game to game you're not 100% sure how every player is going to play. So you just look, man, I know Bryce McGowan's been looking good in practice. Or like, Bryce McGowan's athletic, we throwing Bryce out there. Like, so-and-so's not playing well, we throwing Jose in the starting lineup. Eve's got it going. Keep him out there. Like, he's willing to try anything and everything. And that's what you need to be able to do, to find some things that click. Not be, and again, this is the problem that Willie Green had. Like, you were so stubborn, you weren't willing to, like, just, it's not working, or it's not working right now, and be able to adjust and go, you know what I mean? Being able to adjust and go to something different. I like Bay starting to give him a chance to heat up. I agree. I like Bay in the starting lineup. Especially right now. If you told me Bay was starting for Herb, I wouldn't be mad at that. He's just more versatile.
I probably did this a little bit in Charlotte. I had a young group that was young and learning how to play the game. And the sooner I pivoted and tried something else, the better results I found. Or it was at least making a statement to our guys, this ain't working, we got to try something different. Whether it's strategic or it's rotational, I'm ready to move when it's called.
Listen, that's amazing to hear, because listen, it might be a strategic change, it might be a rotational change, whatever it is. If it's not working, we not gonna keep doing it. I'm not gonna have y'all and me banging my head against the wall, like trying to force something that ain't working to work. Like, no, obviously it's not working for a reason. And he's pivoting quickly. Like, you on the clock right now. Every game, every practice, every shoot around matters. And I love the urgency that you're seeing. Like, that's what gives you hope and optimism. And I think, like, again, we keep talking about these lineups. I think a lot of the stuff you're seeing is, one, for example, I think sometimes you might let the unit, let a certain rotation, or let a certain unit play long enough to see how long can we run the offense before it starts to break down, and they start to, you know what I mean? And they start to, they start to resort back to the old things that they used to do. Or can this particular unit handle pressure more than a different set of units? So, like, I think a lot of the times when you see lineup changes or somebody staying in the game long enough, I think that's him trying to gather information. But at the same time, I don't think he's like using long sample sizes, if that makes sense. It's like, all right, yeah, I kind of see, I get it, I see what I'm seeing. Okay, let's make an adjustment based on what we're seeing right now.
How has the transition gone within the staff? Obviously, when you took over, you probably had to delegate and modify some responsibilities. How has that developed?
Well, number one, the staff is great. Willie did a great job putting this staff together. They're wonderful individuals and highly intelligent basketball coaches. So I'm very fortunate that I get to walk into that, and I have a relationship with them, number one. I think that's what makes the transition smooth, is that there was a trust level and a familiarity with each other. So we're doing some different things. I can't say it's we don't have a whole lot of time. I'm kind of learning as I go and making a few tweaks here and there to maximize the staff as best that I know how to do it. So I think the staff is being a little patient with me, hopefully, as we navigate this, as we try to navigate some new territory. But I trust the staff, very good group. James.
So here's the question that I had talking about because he mentioned the staff, and this is crazy because I was thinking about this too. Do I think that they have some good coaches on the staff? Absolutely. How good are these coaches? I don't know. But if let's just say Borrego gets this job, right? Let's say they decide to remove the interim tag. Do you think, and they say, Borrego, you could either keep this staff or choose your own guys. Do you think he's going to keep this staff? I don't necessarily think he would if he got an opportunity to pick his people. So, yes, I think that there's, I don't want to say that there's benefit that they've all been together and stuff for a while, but I don't know that the people that are on this staff with him, are like-minded in a sense, not even like-minded or have some of the same values that he has. You think he keeps some of them? Maybe, but what if they proven, but at the same time, it's kind of like if you could pick your own guys, right? You're like your career is on the line. Like you're gonna want to pick who you want. So it's gonna be that part. I think it'll be interesting. And do I think they have some coaching knowledge? Yes, because all of the reports were that Willie Green was really stubborn and not listening to the coaching staff. So I think you do see them trying different things and styles of play or whatnot, and kind of trying to work together. And I do believe that they got some smart people in the game, smart people in that room. At the same time, if my job was on the line, I don't know necessarily if JB, if he is to retain this job, will attach himself to this particular staff when you may have other options out there that are better complement what it is that you're trying to accomplish.
I know you talked about wanting to get 10 games in before you really assess, I guess, the situation, what the team's doing. But looking through the first 6 games, it's hard not to notice rebounding's way up, pace is way up. There's certain things that are way up. Seems like there's an identity forming. Would you agree with that? You feel like there's something
for
happening?
Sure. I'm seeing signs of it. There's some areas we are highlighting clearly to our guys, clear identity measures. Rebounding was one of them. There's that low-hanging fruit that it's an effort, it's a focus, it's a tenacity that we gotta go do, and we're capable of it. We're big enough to rebound. We're clearly big enough. Now we don't have that one monster in the middle, where maybe Valanciunas used to do that for us back in my day, in my Spur day. Duncan, we didn't really have to talk about rebounding. Duncan just went and got them all. In Charlotte, my days were not like that. You had to collectively go rebound. This group has to be a collective gang rebounding group, so it takes focus, attention on that area. I'd say we're just more active probably. We're trying to get a little bit more active with our hands defensively, a little bit more of a swarming mentality, protection of the paint. I do like the pace offensively right now. I think we all felt it last night, a little bit more just pace on to the next play. I was really, really pleased with the ball movement as well. I would say those are probably the areas that you can point to as some identity markers that we're looking to grow. And we just got to stay on it day by day.
That's important because, again, what we talked about a second ago, going back to the basics, right? You guys are not a good rebounder team because y'all got bad habits. Bro, stop trying to cheat the game, essentially. Don't none of y'all are really great rebounders. We got to do it together. Everybody stay back, go get the box out, go get the board. All of y'all, right? And that's what you got to do, and you have to keep emphasizing it. The one thing that I'm really liking from Borrego more than anything is, again, he's hammering home the basic, ball movement, keep the ball moving, get the focus on the rebounds. And if you hear him, the reporter that asked the question is yo, the numbers are way up, and it's kind of bruh, yeah, because we coaching on the basic things that you need to coach on, and we're putting them in position to be able to do these things. It's not necessarily rocket science, bro. You just got to go out there. Listen, y'all not great rebounders. Everybody got to go rebound, right? Everybody got to go rebound. It's just that simple.
When you see Eve have a game like that, I mean, how much of it is he's just been trying to get back to being 100?
Pause for a second. Not just tell them you have to go rebound. I also think in his points of emphasis, he's teaching them how to go gain rebound, right? Not just saying we got to go rebound. I'm pretty sure when they're going through these practices, they're going through rebounding practice, right? Like, hey, this is how we box out. This is how I want everybody to clear their man. This is who needs to get the ball. This is what we're looking for to get in transition. I'm pretty sure he's not just saying we need to rebound. I'm pretty sure he's like, hey, no, let's like see how you starting to drift. No, don't drift. We need you to crash the boards and stay in this area in case rebounds bounce this way. A long, long shot, long rebound. We need you to be in this area. Like Eve's like everybody, we need to crash the boards. We need to end possessions by getting rebounds. Like, and I'm sure that like that's probably the way that they're going about it.
Percent from being out for a while.
Yeah, I think he missed a couple there, trying to get back in the fold. But I think we saw the impact he could have on that game. I felt it in the Denver game as well. He
did have impact in the Denver
this
game.
crazy coach only played him 12 minutes in that game. So, he might have had like 15 rebounds in that game too. But, that's what he can be for us. And that's his identity. The impact he could have on that game. I felt it in the Denver game as well. He had, this crazy coach only played him 12 minutes in that game.
So that's important because that's him critiquing himself. And that's how you probably saw Eve start that second half. He probably went back, watched the tape, saw Eves being really active, and then saw he didn't give Eves much time in that game when Eves was being impactful in the Denver game. So I'm pretty, and that's what I like to see from the coach. And again, it's real easy to get like tunnel vision because the question is probably like, man, do I play Eves when Derek Queen is rolling right now? You know what I mean? And like, how do I manage if Queen is playing well, but Eves is giving me so much energy? Like, do we play the two bigs? In this case, Eves was moved, not Eves, I'm sorry. Queen was having some struggles in the Chicago game at certain points. So it was easy to start Eves and play one big. So I think moving forward that Borrego is going to have to manage if Eves is going to keep this intensity up, right, defensively and on the boards, but Queen looks like Queen normally, you might end up in a situation where you're forced to play both of them on the court and try to figure that out. So I think this admission right here, when he says the crazy coach only played him 12 minutes, like he probably could have had 15 rebounds. Then I think this is an admission of, hey, man, I messed up, and possibly my mistakes of not playing Eves more probably cost me that game. I need to be better in finding ways to put my players that are impacting the game on the court. So like, and he found a way to do it in the very next game. That's a good sign of what you want to see from your coach, an admission on something, and then being able to like come to the conclusion. I don't want to say possibly on his own, but like that's what you're watching. That's what you're watching film for. And then, being able to implement those things. It helps that Queen is better as a stretch forward so you can play both of them. I think a lot of the bigs, well, the three bigs that you intend on playing, you could play a lot of them together. Exactly. Like, I think Queen is better off at the four anyway. Like, I think he could play the five with the style that they're trying to play. But if you had Queen at the four with a definitive five, I think your lineup is going to be, I think at some point they're going to get to that. Like at some point they won't have a choice to get to it, but to get to it. And I think they'll take off being able to do that. So I think you might see like Queen Missy, Z Trey Murray or Z Trey Poole, something like that. And I honestly think it's gonna work out.
He might have had like 15 rebounds in that game too, but that's what he can be for us, and that's his identity. I think he clearly understands what we need out of him: the energy, the effort, rim protection, the defense, the rebounding, obviously on both ends of the floor. He can do this every night, and we're asking him to do that And then watching the film, he was fantastic defensively. We were switching so much. He's one of those guys so unique to have a big that can protect the rim and switch. That's an elite defender. He's getting there little by little. He was able to stay in front of guards last night, make plays at the rim, block shots as guards got by him. So he's got a very high ceiling.
JB, practice number 2, what were you able to accomplish today?
Practice number 2. That's
we're really hammering the defense right now. We're trying to really anchor and put a lot of attention into the defense. Obviously, our transition defense, as I told the guys, I told you last night.
Transition defense.
We had a lot of practice last night in transition defense. But the only way to get better at it is to go work on it. You have to go do this. So a little bit of half-court defense, a little bit of individual defense where the focus is, and then the continual ball movement right now. Our spacing is number 1. I think no matter what we're running, if we can get to our spots and be clean in our spacing, we tend to make good decisions right now. We're making better decisions, I'll say. So we're really focusing on our spacing right now.
That was important. He said we're making good decisions, and then he corrected himself and said we're making better decisions, which means they're not technically making good decisions. It's just we're not making piss poor decisions, right? So you can see that, like if you pay attention to the word choice that he's using, right? Like we spent the whole time working on defense right now. We're trying to get the defense right. I'm playing ease because I'm seeing on film what he's doing defensively. He's guarding guards, he's switching, protecting the rim, doing all of that while we're working on defense. We're working on the transition defense regarding the offense. If we get in our spots, like we're doing a good job with the offense. And then he's saying, we're making good decisions. And then he corrected himself and said, you know what? No, we're not making good decisions. We're making better decisions, which means that like throughout the game, right? Throughout the game, you can tell there's a way that he wants to see the thing go, and they're not quite there yet. But again, more practices, more time on task, you'll be able to get to it. But like, if you just listen to like what it is that he's saying, he's signaling like, and I think that's why you saw the Fears Jose switch in the third quarter, because it's sometimes it's very minor things like when to put, and again, Fears is a young point guard, but when to push the pace, when to slow it down, when to make a pass, when to take a shot, right? All of those things matter. And like if you listen to him talk, like you could tell he's kind of trying to hammer home the little details that'll help this team become like a solid unit. So like they're absolutely working on the identity and the foundation. I've been saying this since we got Zion. It's only been exaggerated. Now they need a stretch 5. I mean, would you consider like Queen is not a stretch 5? What would you consider Queen? Whoa, what's good, bro? Appreciate you for tapping in. We going over this Borrego video.
Ball movement. And then we hit a little bit of the details as well. We haven't done a lot of in-the-game stuff, as a group. So making sure we know what a press offense looks like.
Listen, man, this is important. He said, like, it's only their second practice. We just hammering home some of the in-game stuff. We ain't even went over press offense. Where to be, who to go to, like who come get the ball. Like, it's crazy to think that an NBA team, you still have to like go through these things, but it's just going to show one, the lack of what was happening before, because if they had a solid foundation of these things, you could have leaned on what it is they were having, like some of the things that was instilled in the Willie Green era, right? Hey, run the press offense that we've been running. Well, what press offense? What you mean we ain't got no press offense? Everybody in the league pick up full court. Why we don't have a press offense? You get what I'm saying? It's the little things like that like if you pay attention to what he's saying, like we're going over the in the game situations. Like we finally getting a chance to do some of that, which means like when they're like everything that they're doing in these games is on the fly, which is why not firing Willie in the offseason was a big missed opportunity. And you just got to give him time on task to figure this out. But like he's telling you right now that like, man, listen, the things that we're seeing, like whatever they were doing before, I'm throwing it away. And I know he early in the thing he said, I can't just completely change it all around. Because he said Willie had a good staff, and some of the things that we're trying to transition to, right? I essentially think that what he's trying to do is like, bruh, whatever it was that we were doing in certain situations, I'm trying to like give me some time so we could get all of that out the way, because I don't want to rely on whatever it was, or we didn't have anything to rely on to like help us through these moments, right? Like the end of game sets, or like the end of game offense. Like they're probably still running some of like one of the old end of game offense, because that's probably what they haven't worked on the new end of game offense. That would be insane, right? But listen to what he said. Hold on.
We hit a little bit of the details. We're really focusing on our spacing right now,
Listen
ball
to
movement, and then we hit a little bit of the details. Well, we haven't done a lot of end of game stuff, as a group. So making sure we know what the press offense looks like. We got press last night. It looked like my son's JV team, So we had, that's why we had to get Fears back in the game. So we did a little bit of end of game execution, offense.
That's insane. Like, think about that. Like, either like he said, we went over the press offense. It's like, bro, y'all like either they had one and like never really implement, like just like people take the little things for granted. So like for him to be like, man, look, we got to go over the press offense. Like we can't have teams just be able to pick up. And again, every team now is picking you up full court. He been taking shots at Willie every interview. Like he been taking little closet shots, bro, like little small ones. But I don't think he's doing it. I don't think he's doing it intentionally. I think he's just kind of like, bro, we got a lot of work to do. And y'all just don't understand how much work that it is. Because if you think about it, it's like, why can't we just run the press offense we've been using? One, because it ain't good, because every time we've been getting pressed for the last couple seasons, and that's what teams flip the game. At the end of the game last night, like it's a little different now because we're playing with more pacing, that it's harder to press the team. But at the end of the game, when like the teams lock in on it, they turn in the game, flipping it. You can't get the ball across half court. Why? People don't know where to go. People don't know what to do. Why the hell not? So yes, like I don't know if it's necessarily that Willie did not have a press offense, but that's what it sounded like to me. And of Porzingis, Miles Turner, I think they're gonna try and see what you have with Carlo to be something similar to that. If he could hit that three consistently, he the closest thing on this team that we got that's kind of like a stretch five.
In defense, stole a few minutes there, and then we shot free throws. Got to make free throws. I mean, missed 11. What is? I don't know what we scored. 150. I don't know. We scored what? 155 if you make those, or 154. If we make them in Dallas, we win that game. We make them against Denver, we win that game. So we got to lock in on the free throws as well.
Listen, bro. Listen. Emphasis. Free throws. Got to make the free throws. And if you don't, and it's not that they probably didn't practice free throws, but you hear the emphasis even in the interview. Free throw. What we worked on defense, press offense, free throws. If you do those things consistently, ball movement, transition, better decision making, transition defense, gang rebounding, free throws. Like, you hear how basic that stuff is? Like, that seemed like the kind of things that you, like, when you start any team, those are the kind of things that you want to, like, start off with. That's the stuff that he's starting off with, right? But that's the stuff that wins you games. You got to be good with the little things. Like, you can be flashy and try to throw alleys. That's not going to win you games, bro. You got to not turn it over. You got to move the ball. You got to get back. You got to stop people from getting in the paint. You got to end possessions. You got to make your free throws. That's 3 wins. He already talked about that's 3 wins that you probably have if you make free throws. Come on, man.
In what capacity was Jordan Poole able to participate in today?
I think what you basically saw today. Were you guys watching him?
Not really.
No, just now.
Shooting around.
He's shooting around.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of what he did, and
No contact yet.
no contact yet with us. So hopefully we'll get to that soon. It'd be nice. So he's a big piece. He's a major weapon for us offensively.
Is there any kind of update on what's going on with Carlo?
Carlo, he's still sort of that day-to-day right now. I think it's that same issue. Nothing new to report on him. Hopefully we get him back soon. Another active body.
He's had a pretty good year so far. It seems like pretty impactful whenever he gets into the game.
Yeah, I think he fits how I want to play for sure. Like his energy, his ability to run the floor, put pressure on the rim. He's switchable. When you look at even Carlo, they can guard one-on-one against guards. That's a luxury to have, to be switchable, have size, protect the rim. Rebounding is going to be big for him. He and Eve got to gobble up the rebounds. That's an area of focus for both of them. But I feel him when he's out there. The energy and the ability to go end to end, and then he can make a three. Eve can't really make a three yet. Carlo can make a corner three and maybe an above the break three once in a while. So, which allows me to probably play him with Z, play him with Queen a little bit, a lot more variety. So I hope they've given me, hopefully he's back soon. I have to make some tough decisions here in the lineup.
Listen, do not be shocked. That's important. Do not be shocked if Carlo cracked that starting rotation. And shout out to Chris Conner. Chris had mentioned it before. Do not be shocked if if Carlo, when he's healthy, cracks that starting rotation. He talked about having to make tough decisions. He talked about Carlo fits the way I want to play, right? Like, that's why you got to watch these and listen to what's going on, because it's going to give you the hints. It's going to give you the hints to what it is when it comes down to who's going to get minutes, how he's going to play, and like what kind of style that they want to play. So I'm very interested to see when Carlo gets back and he's healthy. As the team gets healthy, it's gonna start looking very different than what it did in the first 12 games that Willie had. Because if you remember, in the beginning, in the first couple games, Carlo ain't even see the flow. Right? Like, it took Carlo like almost 2 or 3 games just to get some minutes. Come on, man. Pay attention.
Quick thing on Poole. Just how much, we talked about Payson is already up, but just his volume shooting, how much is that transforming?
It'll be massive for us. Just those catch and shoot. He's a high volume 3-point shooter. He's maybe one of those guys that can take us from 30 to 35, 35 to 40. He has that ability. So, I would expect our offense to take another tick up, when he comes back, as long as we're playing the right way. And, he could be a real added weapon to our group.
The emphasis that you've had on pace and getting downhill, what's the key to establishing that when you're not necessarily playing an opponent like the Bulls that also like them?
Yeah, that's a good one. I mean, I think last night's opponent, just their style of play allowed us to do that a little bit more. They were playing fast. We were playing fast. So it pushed our pace up as well. Tomorrow might be a little different. It's going to be a new challenge tomorrow on how they play, probably a little bit slower of a team, a bigger team. I think identity-wise, though, we still want to maintain our pace regardless. Some teams make it a little tougher on you, though. Just the reality. I think Memphis probably, their style of play is going to make it a little tougher for us to get out and run. But we want to maintain pace no matter who we're playing. I think last night allowed us to get a sense of where we want to go ultimately. Then our spacing, regardless of who we're playing against, has to continue to get better. Like, we're going to be tough to guard if we'll space the court, share the ball, and move it and make quick decisions. This group can do it. I mean, I think last night, I think I'm saying this correctly, was the 6th most paint touches from an NBA team all season.
That's crazy.
I think we almost had 100 paint touches last night, which I like. Obviously, I haven't liked our paint decisions so far this season.
Oh my gosh, bro. Listen, this dude is dropping so many gems, in my opinion. Listen to the things he keeps saying. No matter who we play. The one thing that we've been complaining about, if you've been a fan of this team over the last couple of years, is we have not played the same no matter who we win against, right? He keeps hammering. No matter who we play, we got to be able. Some teams make it more difficult for you, yes, but no matter who we play, this is what we got to do. We're gonna space and move the ball. We're gonna play we're gonna play our style, we're gonna play our way, right? And if he's able to establish that, that's just, bruh, it just goes of like, y'all don't understand how much better you can be, because now you can draft and you can really focus on what it is you're trying to do from a roster construction standpoint. If you know what it is you need, you can't be playing a different way every damn game. You just, at some point, it's confusing for the players. I don't know what shots to take. And also he talked about decision making, right? And that's why I emphasized it earlier when he said, like, we've been making better decisions. Like, he corrected himself and didn't say good. He said we've been making better. So like, the decision making is something that he's harping on, and like, not practices, because they only had their second practice, but anytime he's talking to the team, it's like, look, we have to be better decision makers.
It needs to go to another level, meaning don't take the bad shot at the rim. Memphis is going to challenge us in that area tomorrow, but we want to get downhill, make the kick out, make the read to the rim. That's really an area of growth for us. We're touching paint. Now we got to make the right decisions.
Stop forcing that dumb shit. Stop throwing these lobs. Why y'all throwing lobs? Stop throwing lobs. Get to the paint, pull it out. Get to the paint, kick it out to the next man. Like, stop doing dumb stuff. If it ain't open, pull it out. Pause. Thank you.
You got two or three rookies playing big minutes for you guys. There are times where you want to let them learn through mistakes, and there have been a few times where we've seen you kind of pull those guys and just let them sit and watch. I guess, how do you judge when's the right time to do one or the other?
True? Did I do that? I pulled them away?
I mean, we saw Queen that one time. You pulled them.
I did pull them. No, look, I think they're young, and there's habits we're trying to form. Right, there's habits, and there's got to be a standard that we set when we step out there on the floor, whether you're a rookie or not. And it's really important and valuable for rookies right now to understand the level you have to get to. And when you feel it wavering, you're going to have to nip it, and that's my job, is to really hold them accountable to the level and the standard we want and we expect. There's no entitlement in this league. You're not gifted minutes, whether you're the first pick, 21st pick, second round pick. There's no gifting of minutes. Players have to go earn that. And I think this young group has really shown me they're willing to go there, but when they don't, it's my job to hold them accountable.
You guys had your best shot.
And that's how you develop players. That's how you make them play consistently. And that's how they that's like those games where you be like, man, the Pelicans just didn't have any energy tonight. This is how you fix the energy. Absolutely. You've probably been, you know what I mean? You've been hearing your name in the media a little bit, like, he's young, man, he's 20, right? You got the good game against Joker, and you feeling good about yourself. Like, why ain't getting the rock? No, bro. No, every game you got to lock in. Like, when they show DeAndre, the video of DeAndre Jordan, on Queen about the complaining for calls. Nah, bro, you can't do that. I do love the fact that with the rookie specifically, and with everybody else, because you could tell, like, and I'm interested to see, like, when the group is healthy, what it looks like. But I want to see this standard held for everybody. Like, if Herb making some bad decisions, be willing to sit Herb down. If Sadiq Bey is outplaying Herb, be willing to insert Sadiq Bey into that starting lineup. If it's an equal opportunity for everybody, don't just do it to the rookies. Let these veterans and these older players have the same standards too. So it's just right now you have the benefit of some people being out where you don't have to make tough decisions. But like he said with Carlo earlier, when Carlo come back, man, we're going to have some tough decisions to make, because Carlo plays the way I want to play, right? Carlo, like you've been saying, everybody been noticing that Carlo, when he's on the court, is very effective. So I'm just interested to see when they get healthy, as close to healthy as possible. I agree that the rookies do need that so they can be better in the future, right? Like this type of stuff will be ingrained in them. You make it the norm for them, right? You make it the norm, and that's how you get consistent play all the time. So kudos to JB, man. He's doing a really good job, in my opinion.
I know a couple games ago you also talked about his really high shot quality. last few games that's been trending upward. I think your rim and three rate was almost 85% last night. Just is that something, like you said, wins obviously bring validation, but when you see a team generate those kind of looks, play that kind of way, is that another sense of validation?
Yeah, it is. I think that's why, as a coach, I'm trying to live more in process versus result. As a competitor, I want to win. I want them to make every shot, and the results they can overwhelm you at times. But I think the best organizations I've been a part of and I see out there, they're process driven, right? They have an identity. They know what they believe in. They know what shots they're trying to create, whether they go in or not. Trust that this is where we need to go. And the results will take care of themselves. We're getting closer to that. We're not near where we need to be, but we're getting closer. I think the identity is starting to form. The trust is there. The more high quality shots. I think that's really the goal in basketball. Can you get better quality shots than your opponent? And I've seen that. Or I think even when I compare to that Denver game, I saw a lot of good signs in that Denver game. Their shot quality is a little higher because they have maybe the best player in the world. We were probably neck and neck with them. We were very close in our shot quality. Obviously, you want the win, though, to validate it, right? You're saying, and it allows me to come in the next day and say, we're getting there, man, but you need a little bit of a boost, which is what a win can do for you.
So, man, shout out to JB. Again, process over results. People been forming identity. Sometimes, you gonna take a L in the midst of trying to figure it out, right? It don't happen overnight, and that's just part of it. But the more you hammer the details, right, the better off they'll be. And then you're starting to see that. Like, you're starting to see it. So I'm excuse me for a second. Let me get this pulled up. This is the last one we'll do. And then I'm gonna get y'all out of here, man. Let y'all go ahead and continue on with y'all day. We be almost at almost at 11 o'clock. Some of y'all getting ready to go take lunches and whatnot, getting that first break of the day. If you working, y'all might be doing y'all shopping for tomorrow or cooking or whatever. Got to do what you got to do for these holidays. But this is one of the first interviews, I think, if I'm not mistaken, that Z has done since being back from injury, and one of the first the first games of the season and stuff like that. Like, you gotta hear more from Z. Like, regardless of the situation, like, I don't care if especially now that he's playing. Bro, you the face of the team. Like, I don't care what's going on, whether you frustrated or nothing, like frustrated or annoyed or whatever the situation is. Like, if you think they about to move you, the media, like, giving you a hard time, whatever the situation is, say, bro, it's just part of it when you the best player on the team. Right? Like, you have to make yourself available to be able to talk and face this music and answer these questions. And it honestly, when you hear Zion speak, right, like, it gives you a sense of what's going on. Like, it's not so, you're not so like lost or like, man, you're not so in your feelings about what's going on. Like, the dude get an opportunity to like use his words and then like can express himself and give them an opportunity to like put his side on whatever it is. And that gives us an indication of what might be going on behind the scenes sometimes. So like Zion doing these interviews and then talking post game, like, I wish after the Dallas game, we would have had a Zion interview and somebody could have asked, hey man, what was going on the last play, with the Fierce 3 or whatever, just so you could get the understanding of what's going on. You hear JB talking about we ain't going over these end of game sets yet. We starting to go through that now. But like, I want to know what the best player was thinking on the, like, one of the shots that cost him the game. Like, you cannot avoid that. Like, you cannot avoid that. Like, I don't think the Pelicans should doing them a disservice only having the coach having to address the media. So that's just my point on that. And I'm not coming off of that hill. Not right now, at least. I still found it weird that even after Willie left, the players hadn't been doing interviews. Bruh, like, I really don't know what was going on with that. Like, again, it was only if it was like a bright spot, like even in the loss, right? Like Queen had 30 and whatever against Joker, and it was like, all right, yeah, you could talk to Queen. And it's like, wait a minute, we lost the game. Like, and again, the only other person who had been talking from time to time was Trey. But like, no, dog, like, where's Herb? Like, why Herb can't answer some of these questions? Herb just signed a big extension. Herb has been a starter on this team. Shit, he been a starter longer than Trey. Herb got more responsibility to answer questions damn near than Trey do. You the one who made he's more accomplished than Trey Murphy to a degree. Like, you the one who got the first team all NBA the all defensive award and was in the running for defensive player of the year and all of that stuff. So like Herb as absolutely can answer some of these questions post game, and like Jose talks a lot. Like you hear from Jose a lot post game sometimes, but it's kind of like, no, bro, get the stars of this team to talk about what the hell is going on. That's why you pay, and that's who people want to hear from.
Where you fit in with the group as the. So it's been like,
bro, Z was tired of Z. Clear, this must have been right after those sprints or whatever. Z was tired as hell in this interview.
Trying to regain your rhythm and kind of see where you fit in with the group as the kind of, the rotation has evolved.
It's actually been a pretty easy process. Guys have been sharing the ball. The movement on offense has been better. So finding my rhythm has been pretty easy this time around.
I think he's absolutely telling the truth because the offense isn't so ISO based. I'm not gonna kill it too many times throughout this interview, but like they asked how, like, hey, why is it finding your rhythm this time? I was like, bro, we moving the ball, we sharing, but there's somebody else that we could play through that passes the ball. There's a bunch of playmakers out there, so like they're playing more of my style. So I do think it's easy for him to get back in rhythm. Like if you remember, like the first game, I don't think he scored relatively well, but I think he still wound up with like maybe 14 or 20 or something like that. But like the game that he's played, like he just had 29, right? Like normally you wouldn't get like the 29 game, like the 29-point game from Z until damn near 2 weeks into him coming back from an injury. So like those are the benefits of having like the JB offense. We're having Murray back will also make your bench stronger. Absolutely. Like Murray, whether he's starting off the bench when he comes back, like it just improves your team because it slots players down and it's just more good players that you have to help.
And what have been your early impressions of Coach Borrego?
Me and JB, we've always had a great relationship. I had a conversation with him about, I know he's in a tough spot with everything that went on. But he's I think he's been doing a great job finding an identity for the team, and the guys are behind him, the staff is behind him, so we're with them.
What are some places that you still want to see improvement in? Like the rebounding's up, the pace is up under JB. What else do you want to see though?
Our defense could always be better. In that third quarter, granted, we did okay last night, but that third quarter's been a big problem for us.
Can you explain that?
Listen, man, I don't care what nobody say. I think Z has, and this could be just me. I think Z has really high expectations. Like, I think he expects to win, right? I think he expects to win. So, like, when they coming out here and then doing all, like, you got to think, man, when that dude had been on the floor, they hadn't been doing all this losing. Like, yeah, he missed a lot of games, but realistically, like, if you go back and look, like, typically when he plays, they, for the most part, win. So, like, this particular situation that's going on with them losing these games, I'm pretty sure it's been relatively tough. And him, like, addressing the third quarter, being like, we did okay. Like, we didn't do good. Like, we survived it, right? Like, and at the end of the day, you built a big enough lead to where that's what you needed to do. You needed to manage. You needed to survive. But, like, I do want to hear more aggression. And I don't know if aggression is the word, but, like, I want to hear somebody, like, I want to hear, like, the Z and Trey's being like, look, man, we doing all we can. We going to get it fixed. Like, you know what I mean? Like, those are the kind of things you want to hear.
It's a mystery to all of us.
we've been trying to figure it out, but when you look at it, we start off slow. We don't have a lot of energy. We don't get in a sets with pace. As for the other team, they'll come out there, punch us in the mouth, get into their sets with pace, get into transition, be physical on defense. So it's just things we gotta fine tune and we just gotta be better at it.
JB's been moving a lot of different pieces across the board, like chess pieces. He's put DQ at the top of the key, put you as a ball handler. A lot of different people setting screens, actions done on both sides. Just what kind of advantages do you think that's like offering you guys?
It's opened up the floor for us in terms of space because we have a lot of guys that can bring the ball up. And then with the 4 out, 1 in space and 5 out spacing. And then, DQ is a big part of that. When he's up top, when we're in our auto action, because he can go make a play and get to the basket or get a bucket, it opens up the game for myself, Merv, when guys are trying to put a lot of tension on us and vice versa.
It seems like they've been running some pistol action for you to just.
I think Z really enjoys playing with Queen, to be honest. I think I think everybody likes players that like to play with players that make it easier for them, which is why I keep saying if Fears is going to start, if he leans more into the playmaking aspect, it'll just make it so much easier for everybody. And honestly, I think it'll give him the best opportunity to keep the starting job. I don't think that he will because I think it's Poole or Murray. But while he's in that particular role, playing with the starters, bro, lean into the playmaking. Like, this is the kind of stuff that, like, you hearing the best player right now say, like the fact that Queen can make a play, and I don't think he means make a play like go score. I think he means he makes it easier for everybody else. Fears has the ability, like, just work on that part.
Get going downhill. Do you feel like that allows you to just attack the defense on more coaching stuff?
It definitely does allow me to attack the defense with a guard guarding me. But on top of that, they've switched a matchup they probably didn't want to switch. So when I make that initial pass, their whole defense is in rotation.
What's it been like just seeing DQ find his way as his role has grown? And what do you think about just how y'all complement each other when y'all are out there together?
We complement each other very well. I feel like it's it's pretty natural. And then with the actions JB put in, it's pretty well for us. But I also want to talk about Fears and Peeve.
Mm-hmm.
Peeve has been doing a great job. Whenever he's given an assignment, he does his job. And, Fears, his game speaks for itself. When he has the ball and he's pushing the pace like that, it's big time for us. So, all three of our rookies have been doing their thing.
What did you think of Eve last night? The way he played in the paint?
I think not to keep pausing. We're gonna get through this interview really quickly, but like I think Z is a really unselfish player, and I think you see part of that in his game when like he's giving up, the ball at the end of the game and stuff like that. Whoa, what's good, bro? Appreciate y'all tapping in. If you hadn't already, man, hit the like button, man. Appreciate y'all. If y'all hadn't subscribed. But Z is talking when he's in an interview by himself and he's, they ask him about Queen, but he brings up, look, Fears and Peavy, everybody's playing well. Like, and like I think he's a very unselfish player. And to a degree, I think he's an unselfish person. I can't say unselfish because some people say like, well, if you're unselfish, then you should make yourself more available. I think those two different things, but we're not going to go into that. With that being said, I think you see he believe in their talent and ability, and also it's kind of like, I think that's why you see him trying to, what's the word, like encourage them, reinforce them, like, yeah, get in transition, do your thing, but also like you need, like, I think that's where the coaching comes in at, and just kind of like you need JB to step in and kind of be that barrier between him and Z and be like, hey, look. Yeah, I need you to do your thing, but the decision making, no, we need you to pass the ball to Trey, pass the ball to Z, and like get in on the decision making and the playmaking side of it. But I think if you listen to Z talk, right, like Z is always trying to encourage the other players and like give people their props and stuff like that. So like I think that's just a nod to like Z's unselfishness, and you see it in his game.
Honestly, in my opinion, he was Eve and Sadiq were the players of the game. Eve was really big for us.
Eve and Sadiq was the player of the game. Now Sadiq, both of them did play well, but that's still a dude who had 29. Talking about Eves and Eves and Sadiq. I'm telling you, that's a unselfish
on the
dude.
old boards, running the floor defensively. And then Sadiq with his boards, his impact on offense, and just his overall impact to the game. Those two were big for us last night.
See, it looks like JB has tied fierce to you in terms of the rotations. You guys leave the game, come in the game. What are you talking to him about? Because there's times where he seems like he's really aggressive. Other times he kind of turns that switch off.
I talk to him when I feel like he's turning the switch off, and I'll just tell him, dude, keep going. If you got it, keep going. I'm never gonna tell him to not be who he is. I'm like, if you see it, go. But if it's 4 people down there, bring it back out and get us into a set. But don't ever be afraid to go.
Are you worried at all about giving him too much information because he's so young, right? 19. Just turned 19.
In general, with rookies that come in, you don't want to overfeed them with information. So with him is be yourself, keep going. And if there's something I feel like he needs to be better at in that moment, I'll say it. But overall, you don't want to overfeed him with information.
Has the team talked to you much about back-to-backs yet? Like, are you gonna be able to play through them, or do you know yet? Or
I'll let the team decide that in terms once we talk together about it. And that's all I can say on that matter.
I wonder if he wants to play back-to-backs, or if he's saying I think he wants to play back-to-backs, or if that's kind of look, I know I'm not playing back-to-backs, or not that I don't want to, but it's probably not the best, but I'm gonna put the responsibility on the team. I hope they just come out and address it. Hey man, he's not playing back-to-back for a while. I don't know if you could do that with the league and how that works right now, but it'd be nice to get some definitive answers on what's going on with the back-to-backs. Queen is the star who's the median of people like Tim Duncan are talking about. Absolutely, he's a star. He is a star, but he's still a rookie at the end of the day. And you want to talk to him, but the faces of this team need to be the ones answering a lot of these questions. But you still want to hear from Queen from time to time. Let him grow, get his brand and personality out there and stuff like that. So there's a fine line between that.
We were out when what was your reaction when the coaching change was made?
It was tough, but at the end of the day, it's a business. And that's not for coach. That's for players as well. As y'all saw, Luka got traded in the middle of the season last year. And that can happen to any of us. So it was a reminder that this is a business, and we got to do our job.
And I know you talked earlier in the season about wanting to be more of a vocal presence with this younger group. How do you try to use your voice during times like that to kind of be the guide-light for some of the younger guys?
With these 3 dudes, man, they're really receptive, and they all have personalities, so it's pretty easy to communicate with them. Even when you're getting on them about something, they're receptive to it, and they're gonna go out there and make it happen.
Your fellow South Carolina guy Bryce has been working his way into the rotation. Had a pretty impactful night last night. What has he been able to bring to the table?
He's been working really hard. You see him every day in the gym, and when his numbers call, him and Peeve, when the numbers call and an assignment is given to them, they go out there and make it happen.
Bro, shout out to Bryce McGowan, bro. I've been liking what that dude been doing when he get on the floor. He's been really aggressive. He done hit some shots. He been making some quietly making some big plays. So I like Bryce McGowan being in the lineup. But that's pretty much the Z interview. And again, they had some really good nuggets. The last thing that Z mentioned, he's even when you getting on them, they're receptive. I think part of that is say, bro, listen, they're gonna have times where y'all asses need to get the ball to me or Trey at the end of this game, right? Let us decide what's going on. So that's kind of what again, not too much, but I think Z had a couple nuggets in there about what's going on. They asked him about the back-to-backs. You knew what answer you was going to get with that. I talked to the team. They asked him about the Willie Green. You knew what the answer to that was going to be. He can't come out and be I'm elated, right? What he's going to say. Yeah, man, thank God that guy's gone. Even though I think that's how they feel, and you see the difference in the team. You see the difference in the team, and if this keep up, like it can be something that looks like what a real team should look like. So tonight will be another good test of that. You're going against a Memphis team that does not have all of its pieces, right? They got their own inner turmoil going on. That's at home. This is a game you got to win. Zion playing most, like Poole not there yet, but like you missing some pieces, but like you got enough to go out there and get this win. You got to have it tonight. Do you see Queen and Fizz working together 2-3 years from now? Can they be a Jokic Murray? I absolutely could see them playing off of each other and playing together down the line. Will they become Joker and Murray? I don't know. That's a bit of a stretch because that duo has won a championship. And if you remember, even before they got to the championship, bro, Murray, like Fear's got a way to go to become like a Murray type player, but I don't know if he's that necessarily, man. You remember in the bubble when Murray was out there going for 40 and 50 and battling Donovan Mitchell and all of that. Like, so to compare them to those two specifically and Joker average a triple, like I think there's gonna come a time where Queen is regularly on triple double watch, right? And Fizz absolutely can average close to 20 a game easily, especially once he gets once he understands the game and stuff like that. That dude's gonna be, and he works hard, like that dude's gonna be a monster. But will they be Queen and Murray? I mean Joker and Murray, I don't know. I think that's a big expectation to put on them. I just would like them to be the best version of themselves because they're a little different than what it is that those two look like. And then also I want to see what other pieces is going to be around them in a couple years. So like in 2-3 years, this team could look completely different. I don't know if JB is going to be here. You don't know what the next coach is going to want to play like. Do Joe Dumars like what they look like now and want to continue to grow off of that? Like, because let's say they don't keep JB. What if the next coach wants to play a completely different style? Like now we have to see what Queen and Fizz look like in that, like, right? So it's a lot that goes into it. So hopefully, you know what I mean, they can maximize the rest of the season and continue to grow and continue to show some things that maybe Joe Dumars decides, all right, this is the direction we're going to go. And then we can just supplement what it is that we have and our players will continue to grow within this. Talking about Fizz trigger happy ass. Exactly, bro. My dog, that dude a hitter, right? That dude a hitter. But in, like I said, with the case with Fizz, bro, I think Fizz is gonna be really good. I just think right now you need to do two things. If you're gonna start him, you need to emphasize, hey, bro, look, you need to focus on your playmaking when you within that starting lineup. Not saying you can't go get you a layup, but get you a layup like out of the offense. Like, right, we done passed the ball a few times, we done made some cuts, and then you done took off and like got a layup. Like, oh, like they got the bad cuts going on and you done took your man, right? Stuff like that. No more of the one pass shot offense. Like that's bad offense. I don't care. You ain't making the defense work. You ain't moving the defense. You're not doing nothing in my opinion. And like, even if you make that shot, like, I just think it's a recipe for bad offense down the line. Like, ball movement is what it is. Ball movement is what it is that's going to help this team. And I think if you can emphasize that, and that also leads into the playmaking with Fizz. So like, if you're going to keep him in the start lineup, he has to do it. And if he's on the bench though, go get your buckets, dog. We need you to kill everything in front of you. But with that, man, listen, I've had y'all for an hour and a half. I appreciate y'all for tapping in this morning. You know, we went through the JB video. We went through the Zion video, kind of broke down the game a little bit. What my expectations tonight against Memphis, I expect them to win because Memphis is not really a good team right now, right? We not a good team either. So maybe that means it's going to be a good game. I don't know. We'll see. I don't know if Ja playing or not either, but I will be in the building. So if you out there and I bump into you, shout out to y'all, man. Don't be afraid to speak up, holler, whatever. Appreciate y'all for tapping in, man. For Pels on the Blender, it's your boy A. Davis. I'm out. Y'all enjoy the rest of y'all night. I might come back with an episode tonight. I am not sure. Or if not, I might drop one tomorrow for Thanksgiving. Who knows? We'll see. But with that be the case, y'all be safe, man. Enjoy y'all mornings. If y'all at work, enjoy y'all days. You know what I mean? Stay safe. Take care of y'all families. I'm out. Peace.